your thoughts on this? You want to talk about what's going on here? You want to get a little risque, or
Let's get a little risky. What are your thoughts?
well, my thoughts? I have no problem with it. I really don't. I really think having one in town, like downtown, that might be a little weird, but on the outskirts, somewhere in an industrial park, whatever, I think they're going to tax it. I think that if you smoke, you've got a guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know where to get it. And I think if it's accessible, then it's just going to be more money. And the people that do it often are going to be a little bummed out by that. It will hit them eventually. And it'll be like, well, my guy charged half as much. And be like, well, then you shouldn't have lobbied for this.
Now, Steve, why are you asking people to vote yes on September 19th?
Because the detrimental effects on the town, on the reputation of the town, and the accessibility. If pot shops are in Milford, accessibility to young kids. Okay, we understand perfectly that pot is legal in Massachusetts. That's not our issue, nor is medical marijuana our issue. Okay, it's just having retail pot shops here. That's all we're asking. Don't do it to Milford. Okay.
That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. Okay, so why are you in support of banning the ban, as you say?
Okay, well, the first reason is this. Prohibition didn't work with alcohol. It's not working with marijuana. If you don't want to participate, don't participate. But if we're going to have liquor stores, why can't we also have marijuana retail shops that sell marijuana? They're very similar. If anything, marijuana is even actually better for you, and it's all locally grown. It's a lot worse with alcohol, and people get violent when they're drunk. There aren't too many people get violent when they're stoned.
How do you see Milford changing if we allow this to come to town?
Well, I think we're going to become a pot shop destination. Where it is very clear that Maine and Massachusetts are the only states on the eastern seaboard which will be legalizing recreational retail marijuana in 2018. It's not a huge leap to see us become a destination for other people from other states, from other communities. And do we really want that to be the main attraction? Along with all of that comes the concern about the strain on our public services, on our school system, and to normalize it in the community so our kids consider legal safe. And that is not always the case.
Why did you come out here today to this gathering?
Well, I think it's important to support the industry and support the local community. There's lots of misinformation out there, as you can obviously see, and so I feel like it's important for everyone, myself included, to do their part in help correcting the views that are out there.
And now, as I said, you guys are a testing facility in town, and one of the things that the ballot question does ask residents is if we should ban marijuana retailers, growing facilities, and testing facilities, and you guys are a testing facility.
Correct.
How would that a yes vote in town impact your businesses in town?
I think it would be detrimental to our business if that did happen. We would still be able to participate in the medical industry like we are, is my understanding anyways, but we would not be able to participate in the recreational industry, which would be detrimental to our business. And we employ about 20 people here in Milford. We're one of several businesses, cannabis-friendly businesses, who do that. And it would be detrimental to the point where we would have to relocate our business to another municipality and support a different community because of that.
So you are concerned about the children, you are concerned about it being in town and affecting the children. Accessibility.
And just normalization of it for kids growing up and being, very open to seeing, well, okay, it's on every street corner, so must be okay, must be safe.
So if it is on every street corner, and this is what your opposition is, that's what their argument is. Their argument is that if they are on the street corner and kids are getting it, why don't we want someplace in town that regulates the product and has certain standards and clear labeling, just like at Craft Fruits when you walk in?
Right at this moment, maybe that can happen in the future, right? Okay. Right at this time, there are no regulations. There are none. Okay, the state hasn't drafted any regulations. They haven't even appointed the board yet. So why jump into it up front? If it turns out that it can be safely regulated and we determine it's not that much of a detriment to town, we can change that in the future. But to jump in without any knowledge of the consequences other than what we see in Denver doesn't look good.
Okay. Do you think that this vote is at all maybe feel a little premature if we don't know what the state regulatory committee is going to be requiring communities to do and stuff?
Again, because we can always vote it in. You can't vote it out anymore, but you could vote it in.
Jason, tell me why you are here supporting this no vote today.
We're here today as Proverity Labs to promote consumer and patient safety. There's a lot of stigma surrounding the cannabis plant here today, and people believe in what's reefer madness. But in reality, some research has shown that there are a lot of medicinal benefits, as well as cannabis can be a lot of times construed as a much safer alternative to other products such as alcohol and tobacco. And our mission here is to promote both consumer and patient safety.
Why wouldn't a town like Milford want a dispensary in town where they can get this safe product from?
So for the town of Milford, as well as other towns in the state of Massachusetts, at the end of the day, you know, the people have spoken. Recreational marijuana laws have passed. And I guess the decision is, would you prefer, you know, the residents in your town to be buying from the black market where everything's unregulated, untested, so that consumers of cannabis might actually have access to unsafe and potentially dangerous cannabis products? Or would you like highly regulated recreational pot shops or cannabis shops here that are, you know, tested with analytical testing labs like ourselves? Again, you know, it comes down to safety for the patients and the consumers.